Good morning, and welcome to Peace to You from Peace Lutheran Church in Arvada, Colorado. And this being the Peace to You crew, our podcast, we have Pastor Guy Roberts here, our senior pastor. And I'm without hat today, but I just want to let you, this, ladies and gentlemen, is faith. You see, the Colorado Rockies still has the faith here.
Someday.
Someday. Just exercising some faith here.
Yeah, Jesus will return someday, and the Rockies will have a winning season.
That's right.
Someday.
And I'll have a full head of hair. So, maybe someday. Anyway, we're talking about our sermon series, which is just getting over yourself. And Pastor Guy had a wonderful sermon last week, and we've spoke about that. But one of the things that's always bothered me is getting over myself, because as much as I try, and I work hard at thinking, what can I do to help other people and things like that, but I still come back to, I want to do this. And this, even when I was a dad, when I was at home, the kids want to go here, the kids want to go there, they want to go swimming. It's like, I want to do this. I want to,
Yeah. I mean, we could sit and talk about, we could all share 50 examples of life where, we're whiny babies and we get and we want what we want and how we want, and we didn't get it, and how, some people live with that bitterness for not their whole lives, and it's just train wreck, to be honest. And so it is hard, like learning to get over yourself is the Lord's call. It's a call of repentance. If you're going to come after me, it'll be a life of denying yourself and taking up your cross. That's what it means to follow him. Yeah,
and fatherhood does strip that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
When you become a father, then you realize that you're actually down the road here. You're last.
Yep.
Not necessarily totally last, but you're not where you were.
You're last in the family. Last. and that's by design. Yeah. Like, that's what I've come to learn and counseled many people, and that's the call. That's what Jesus had in mind. Mm-hmm. And we know that because he says, if you're going to, the Son of Man did not come to be served but to serve, and that's going to be your life too. Right. And so as a father, you've been given responsibility. As a husband, you've been given leadership and responsibility of your family. But that doesn't mean that you're the king on the throne.
No.
It means you're the servant in the dust, washing feet and changing diapers and caring for and listening to your wife's problems and cleaning up all the things your kids, especially boys, in my experience, break. And it's just how it is, And then probably the hardest one is then you also become the boundary. You want to be kind of friends and enjoy your kids, but they're a pain in the butt a lot of times, and they're super annoying sometimes. Yeah. And they do dumb things that you have to be that boundary and that discipline for them. And I don't know, I think I probably struggled with that one the most, just because it's like, why do I have to do this again? I hate being the jerk, And it's like, well, it's not about you. Get over yourself. It's about them and doing it in a patient and kind but stern way, and trying to balance all that.
And I know for me, it was, I always thought I wanted to be their friend,
Mm-hmm.
And we'd get along so well one day, and it was like, we're good pals, we're buddies, nothing's going to go wrong. And the next day, something goes wrong, or they do something, or especially when they got older, borrow my tools and never put them back, or I see my stuff in the backyard or something like that. Things that I would never expect them to do, but they did. Yep. And they're still kids, but then in the long run, it's rewarding. Yeah. It's so rewarding to be that father.
Yeah, and it's not, you can get wrapped up in your kids and think make it about yourself. Like, people do this with sports all the time.
Oh gosh, yes.
And it's like, no, it's about them. This is, and yet this is probably the most important piece of parenting advice that I got is, even though your life is oriented towards the service of your family, especially with your children, the last thing you want to do is make them the center of the family. Yes. Because that is how you raise narcissists. And we got a lot of those running around. Ooh, and it's like, no, you belong to something bigger than yourself. You're a part of this family. and that's how it's meant to be. And so towing that line, I found to be difficult, and I don't know that it will ever end, even as the kids are raised and leave the home. I feel like I won't have any influence or any ability to control anything, but at the same time, it'll still be the same lessons over and over and
That's
over.
right. You give them that foundation, right?
Yeah.
You give them that foundation as they're growing up. And I know I played ball for many, many years, and I coached for a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of boys that came back to me later on, including my sons, that said, when you told us to leave the game on the field, give it 110%, but leave it on the field. And then, there's more important things than this ball game here,
Yeah.
and being out on this field. There's more important things in life. And you teach them that, and you teach them that as a parent, teach them that as a coach. That goes with them their entire life.
Yeah.
And it's that foundation that you build.
Yeah. Well, and, I mean, I think it was you and I were talking about someone we know mutually that, and I heard this again from someone else just recently, where they don't come to church at our church because when they come here, they hear about their brokenness and sin.
Yes, yeah.
And they just want to go to a place and makes them feel good.
Sure.
They want to feel like they got this under control. They want to get some principles of life. They want to be inspired, but they definitely don't want to hear about how there's a brokenness involved. It's just kind of too depressing.
Yeah, I'd rather not hear about the law.
Yeah.
That's,
And so for me, it's like, okay, that is the way of this world. That is I don't want to hear that. I want to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want to do it. I want to be the center of my own universe and the decider of all things, and I and me.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And this is about me and I, and that's kind of the world. And it's the exact opposite of the call of Jesus, which is
Absolutely.
you put yourself aside.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. He is literally the King of glory, and yet he took on the role of a servant, and then he took on the role of I don't even know, Messiah, I guess it would be, in which he died in our place. I mean, there's no greater love than this, than one who would give his life.
Absolutely.
So
We had a situation here about a week or so ago. We had a gentleman that was living outside of our garage area here at the church on the property, and we allowed him to be here for a couple of days to kind of get it together, and he had a cart that he needed to fix. Well, then it became glaringly apparent that he wasn't planning on leaving at all. Matter of fact, he was kind of taking up residence back there. So we had to kind of help him off the property and get rid of his things. And he came back, and he wasn't very happy with me, and he said, "You just think you're better than I am, don't you? You just think you're better than I am." I said, "Not necessarily." I said, "I think I've made better choices than you have made in my life. But being better," I said, you're at a church, you're in a church property here. Jesus looks at us, he loves everybody. He loves you just like he loves me, he loves all of us. But our choices that we make are things that we have to live with. And to be honest, pal, you made some bad choices here. And one of them was trespassing.
Yeah.
So, I think that a lot of times people look at Christians that way, like, oh, they really think that they're something.
Yeah.
Well, hang
sometimes we act that way.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We do.
Because there might be someone go, of course I'm better than you. I'm not living in a bush.
That's
That's
right.
and it's like, that's that's not it either. It's
No.
by the grace of God, and with that person, I mean, there's not like there's any lack of commitment to them, but to enable bad behavior, to live in the bush, to be drinking, because there's lots of bottles of alcohol and who knows what else. That's not actual love for a person, just to let them kind of wallow in their brokenness. And so, I mean, this is the balance we walk. I mean, Jesus was pretty brutal, depending on the sin he was confronting. For those who were broken and knew of their brokenness, he was so loving and caring. And for those who were prideful and relying completely on themselves, he was brutal. He just like tore into them, made them look silly and dumb, and did it on purpose. But from our perspective, it's because they deserved it. From his perspective, it was because he knew what they needed to hear, and it was a loving action.
Right.
Whatever has the best chance of breaking through to bring people to where they need to be, which is at the foot of the cross. He was willing to do that. And it cost him his life.
It did.
I mean, that was the plan, but that's where it led. So,
You know, we've talked about my oldest son, who's up in Minnesota, and he's in an adult and teen challenge, which is drug and alcohol addicted people go there to get help. And like I've said before, he's got folks he works in the men's side, and it's from 18 to 65 years old. There's people there that just never were able to let go of those things and let Jesus, back into Jesus is right there. They turned their back on him. He never turns his back on us. We know that, but they turned their back on him. But my son would say, they would say, well, why did God abandon me? Why did he do this to me? Why did he? And my son said, no, he's always been right there for you, and you've decided to take a different route, And was I wrong? And it's kind of interesting. The last time I was there, my son was talking to this guy, and the guy was pretty belligerent, and he says, so God hates me. He goes, no. He said, don't understand. What you did disappointed God. It disappointed him. There's no doubt about that. And he said, and you disappointed everybody that you're associated with. Your family. Are they happy with you? Your friends? What?
yeah.
You disappointed him, yes, but he's still there. And I think that's a lot of times we think that, that it's all about us. It's all about us, and we can have it, we can take care of it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, no.
Yeah, and that comes back to that fatherly love. Like, there's a difference between just criticizing and tearing down your kids. But so we conclude that we should do no criticizing or evaluating or conversations. It's like, no, it's just, what is the goal here? If the goal is just to change their behavior so that they don't embarrass you, you've missed the point.
Right. Yeah.
Right? No, your goal is to help them see his way as the better way, and to turn from that, just so that they don't have to experience all the consequences that come from it. And so you say what needs to be said in the best way you know how to say it, probably blowing it about half the time, and having to repent. But then your kids are also learning from that it's not, I would still say whatever I need to say. I would still say the same things. I just said it poorly.
Right.
Like, this is not okay, And it happened. I mean, for me, it's a daily thing. Yeah,
Sure.
my son promised he would do something last night, and he didn't do it. And he's an adult now, technically, by the law's standards. And I went up and said, you get up. I know you got some plans today, and those aren't happening unless you're
Very good.
done with
Yep.
your commit. And it's not about that I just want this thing done. This is about, I want you to honor your commitments, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be there in a few months to tell you to do it. And
Powerful.
yeah, but that's not a fun way. I mean,
No.
I don't want to have a conversation like, I was in a good mood, so
Yeah. It's
for
difficult.
me.
Yeah. For me.
So
Well, I know for me, especially when it came to the kids, it was just, you're hurting me. This is
Yeah.
about me. You're hurting me.
that's
And
how you hear it, isn't it? Yeah. And I hear, this is a weird topic to bring up at the end of a podcast, so maybe I should save it, but
It's okay.
yeah, whatever.
We're here. Yeah.
I've spent time with those in kind of our community and culture, and just talking about parenting, because that's what we have in common. And I had not realized that the whole pro-life, pro-choice thing, that mindset that your kids are a decision, I always thought of that only at the beginning. But what I've kind of noticed over the years of spending time with people who have different worldview than me is that continues. That mindset that your kids are a choice and a decision, that doesn't end at their birth or when you decide to have them. Like, that's the same kind of mindset. Like, people will sit around thinking about whether they made the right decision or not. Not that they're going to do anything about it.
Right.
But, like, it's not like they were going to have mass murders of children, although, I think kids are always on that razor edge
yeah,
for
yeah.
a variety of reasons.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
but in general,
times.
I think they do decide whether or not they're going to commit to being what a parent should be, whether they're going to check out or whether they're going to, because their kids are seeing, like if you got into the whole having kids thing, I don't know which camera I'm looking at, but is it the middle one? Okay, so if you got into the whole having kids thing because you think this is going to work out as a net benefit to you, you're in for a really large disappointment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah.
This will
Oh,
cost
yeah.
you all kinds of things. It is a sacrificial arrangement by design. And so, like, the idea of your kids kind of being inconvenient, yeah, no duh. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
that is within the
That's what
thing.
they are.
And so, like, if you kind of realize that as I'm talking that you have this mindset that this is optional, like once you have the kids in the home, you got to kind of get rid of that. Like, it's bad to have it before, and it's really bad to have it after, because they need you. They need you to be what God designed you to be. They need you to be those boundaries. They need you to have those hard conversations. They need you to be those words of encouragement and when they're down. They do not need you to do their homework for them. That is not teaching them. They can get a bad grade. That's fine, but they need you to walk with that and teach them through it. Like all of these things out there, your kids are not a reflection on you. Like, you are a servant to them, but not in the way you think, not as like a butler or maid, but as I don't even know, like what would be a position of where you have authority and you want them to be better than you.
That's right.
You
demonstrate that,
Yeah.
what you want them to be as an adult. You demonstrate that to
Yeah.
the best of your ability. But even, like you said, like even greater than.
Yeah. And you want them, but not because it makes you look good, but just because you just want them to have a good, faithful life living in the Lord. And so you pour it all out. And that's the way it's designed. Not only parenting, but like life in general. Is there is no retirement for a Christian when it comes to serving others. Like, this is the life until the end, until he returns. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's
It's interesting. My youngest son was playing baseball, and he had a coach that just used foul language all the time. And the guy screamed at everybody, and just this constant foul language. And my son at the time was brave enough to go up to this guy and say, "Listen, I just don't like you using that language. We don't do that in my house. I just don't. It makes me
Yeah.
uncomfortable." And the guy kept it up. My son quit. Now, typically, I would, once you start a program, you're in a ball, you're
You're
on a ball
committed,
team or whatever.
yeah.
You're committed. Yeah, you are going to continue. But when he told me the story, and then when I went and talked to the coach himself, I realized my son was right. This
Yeah.
guy was a jerk.
Yeah.
and he said, I've had enough of this. In fact, I was just so proud. I was beaming,
Yeah.
But it wasn't me. It was just that he saw, and demonstrated through our entire family. We just don't speak that way.
Yeah.
And through our church, and it's not something that's not done.
Yeah.
I don't need to be on this ball field to listen to you do that.
Yeah.
This isn't that important. And he quit.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a lesson, man.
Yeah.
But it cost him something. And
Ooh,
he
it
had
did.
friendships and
Yeah.
restrained and
Well, he was told a
reputation.
lot of names,
Yeah.
So we won't mention those here. But
Yeah.
the boys were pretty rough on him because he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle what he was saying and stuff like that. Well, maybe you shouldn't be on the team anyway.
Maybe I
guess
shouldn't.
not. Maybe I shouldn't.
That's what I decided. I'm not. So, okay.
So, well, Pastor, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
This is great. And we have a new Bible study coming up, really exciting this summer. We're going to be in the book of Romans.
Yeah, so on Sunday during our sermons, we're going to be preaching on the book of Romans, the lectionary epistle reading. So it's called When in Romans is our sermon series. And then at Bible study, though, we're going to be studying a book by Dr. Gene Veith called God at Work. We're going to be talking about our Lutheran doctrine of vocation. And what this is, it's a really, really practical, helpful, handy way of looking at how God works within the world and what our purpose is. And so it's 11 weeks. I decided not to do it on Sundays because it's a little heavy for the average person. But if you're, and probably better done in Bible study, but I would encourage you to come be a part of that. We have books here, we have a big stack of books. You can read through it slowly over the summer with us, and we'll talk about each chapter as we go.
Very good. And what you talk about almost every week is that be in the Word.
Yeah.
Be in the Word, how that is so helpful.
Yeah.
Be in the Word every day because there's so much there. And come to Bible study. There's a lot of times, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I've mentioned this before. There's times where I think, I know that. I've got this down. You know what? I'm just scratching the surface here. There's so much more to learn. And Romans is really one of my favorite books. I mean, I get so much out of the book of Romans. I'm really excited about this. And I can't wait for the summertime here.
Should be enjoyable. So.
Well, if you don't have a church home and you would like to join us, or if you have a church home and, hey, you'd like to come to a Bible study, come and join us. We're here. We're here with our services at 8 o'clock and at 10:30, and our Bible studies start at 9:15, and we'd love to have you here, right here at Peace Lutheran Church, 57th and Field in Arvada. And with that, have a great week and blessings on your week. And Pastor Guy, again, thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you for joining us for Peace to You at Peace Lutheran Church in Arvada, Colorado. If you have no church home, we'd be delighted for you to join us at 5675 Field Street in Arvada. Services are at 8 and 10:30 a.m., with Bible classes for all ages at 9:15 a.m. You can easily access our services online on our YouTube channel, Peace Arvada at youtube.com. or wherever podcasts are found. Coming this January, tune in to the new video podcast at Peace to You on youtube.com or listen wherever podcasts are found. Now, from the entire broadcast team at Peace Lutheran in Arvada, I'm Reuben Hollenbeck, and may the peace of our Lord be with you now and always.